Hey everyone, Roy here with another video, and I got a couple of subjects I want to talk about today. One is crappy side hustles, and another one is a saying from Jim Rohn, which really drives in what we're looking for today. And before I get into it, if you're new here, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, go down to the comments and write "I subscribed" so that I can show you my appreciation. All right, so let's get into it. And also, while I am going live and streaming on my YouTube channel, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch later the video that I'm recording right now. But I will also be streaming this live on another platform. So if you missed anything, if you jump on the live, if you want to check it out later, you can always go to my YouTube. So really quick, before we get into it, let me know in the comments, where you're tuning in from. I'm always interested on, where you guys are at in the world as you turn in. The internet is pretty amazing. As you put content out there, as you send things out, people come in, they check things out. It's always interesting to me, where people are and what they're doing and whatnot as they join my live. So let me know in the comments, where you are, why you're excited to be here today, and what's going on in your neck of the woods. For me, I'm at home because I work from home and I'm doing my daily vlog, and I've started a new thing where I actually jump on. You see I got a keyboard here, and I'm actually playing WoW while I talk to you, which I haven't quite got into it yet. If you see my screen here, whoop, there we go. Haven't quite got on. And I got a couple of subjects, like I said, that I want to talk about today. And one is, don't waste your time on crappy side hustles. And what I mean by that are side hustles that, hey, you can make X amount of money by watching videos, or you can make a little bit of money by, $10 per song by listening to music, or you can, make money online by typing, or you can make money online by posting comments, or, 99.9% of those guys, they don't work, and they're just bait and switch. Literally, they're telling you something that you all want to hear, right? In today's mentality, today's generation, I'll say, people want everything for nothing. They want to find that little niche, that little side hustle where they don't have to do crap, right? They don't have to put in any effort. They can just lazily sit at home on their couch and have lots of money coming to them. Now, you can create residual income. You can actually have income coming to you whether you're working or not, whether you're sleeping, no matter what you're doing. But it takes work. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to build it up to that point, it takes time, effort, and consistency. And that's what people don't get. They think that, because they see somebody else doing it, because they see somebody like myself that's able to work from home, that's able to have money come in, and I had money come in this morning, even while I was getting my coffee. They think that because that is possible, that they can do it without any effort, that they can just come in and just, because they bought a course, or because they purchased a program online, or because they joined a group that teaches you how to make money, that it can just happen. And I get people reaching out to me, and they're like, so how do I make money? Like, well, what have you done? You actually have to take action. You're not a tree. If you don't like your circumstances, you can change it. But again, it takes time, effort, and consistency. And that really what brings me into the subject that I wanted to talk about today. And that subject is patience. And I have a quote. If you'll bear with me, I'm going to go pull it up. I actually posted it on my Facebook. But this is Jim Rohn, and he said, in any situation that you can think of, impatience is a source of weakness and fear, while patience represents substance and strength. How cool is that? That is a really cool saying. In any situation, impatience is weakness and fear, but patience is strength. So you got to have patience. You got to have patience with yourself. Patience while you learn what it is you're trying to do. Patience while you learn the skill. How do you get a new skill? How do you learn a new skill? Well, you actually have to step outside your comfort zone to start with, right? You actually have to go do something. Another saying of Jim Rohn, if you want more than what you've got, you have to become more than you are. So you have to step outside your comfort zone, go do something, and as you're learning how to do that, you start developing the skill. And what I mean by that is as you're doing those things over and over and over again, they eventually become a habit. That habit then turns into a skill. You're developing a daily skill that will boost you and build the life that you want to build. You know, you can't just bump along and just take things as they come to you. And don't get me wrong, that's one way to live, right? You can just, deal with whatever happens your way, but either way, it's going to happen. The time is going to pass. Whether you sit there and you just deal with what's happening to you, or you take action and you decide that you want to build the life that you want to live. The time is going to pass anyway, and at some point you're going to be sitting there on your rocker or whatever, your retirement home, and you're going to be left with the fruits of your labors, whatever that is. If that was, a retirement from a job, a 401k, and you're actually able to enjoy a little bit, maybe you're in a motorhome, not a rest home or something, great. But for a lot of people that just bump along and just handle life as it comes and don't ever make an effort, especially that's one thing that's got me a little concerned with today's generation, right? They don't want to put forth effort. They don't want to get off the couch. They don't want to stop watching Netflix. They don't want to get out of their freaking parents' basement. And they don't want to do anything. And then you're just stuck living with the choices that you made. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to retire like that. I don't want to be stuck with that. So I put in the time, effort, and consistency now to learn how to make money online, to learn how to leverage the internet, to learn how to use the power of the internet to make an income whether I'm working or not. And the goal, right? The goal should be long term. We're not talking, make money today, not have any tomorrow. The goal is long-term residual income. The goal is to build an online presence that's so powerful and has enough income that you don't have to work, that you don't have to worry about it, that you don't have to do anything other than, maybe keep the flow going, pop on every once in a while, maybe pop an ad every once in a while, whatever. But once you have a big enough flow, all you got to do is maintain it. And then it's long-term income that you can pass on to your children, or, whatever your goal is with life, whatever your, progression is there, but you can pass it on or use it at the end of, when you're done working. And that could be sooner rather than later. You don't have to bust your body and everything else for, 40, 50 years and then, hopefully retire somewhere when, all that time is spent. Why not start living the way you want to live now? Why not start doing something about it, even if it's just a plan, right? Even if it's just an idea. Everything starts with an idea. I know lots of people that have had lots and lots of ideas, and I'm going to use my parents, and I hate to dog on my parents, but it's just fact. It's just truth, and that is, for years growing up, I heard that, hey, I lived in a trailer house, by the way, in dirt. I never experienced what it was like to actually live in a home. And that was one of the things I set up for myself growing up, is like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to live in a freaking mobile home. I'm done with that. I'm done with the whole house freaking shaking whenever there's a storm. I'm done with the spin cycle on the washer waking me up at night. I'm done with all of the things, bugs coming in, the wind coming in through the windows, and just, my parents lived in a mobile home for 30, 40 years. And my biological dad died in my home when I had a house back in 2016 under my care. And it's sad when I go think about it, because he had all these dreams and ambitions and things that he wanted to do. He just never really took the action. In the action that was taken, one of my brother-in-laws actually came over and he's like, hey, you want to build a house? You want to have a house? I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you with the first step. I'm going to dig the foundation and put the footings in for you. But you've got to start from there and do something about it. But he never took it to the next step. He never, went out and figured out how to get the concrete or figure out how to get the walls put up or any of that. That hole eventually just filled in with dirt. 20, 30 years of sitting there. I used to play in it as a kid. Like, hey, and every once in a while, I'd want to start helping. And as a kid, I would out there with a freaking flat blade shovel, like digging the footings back up. Like, hey, you know, the sand and everything had blown in. I'm like, no, we want to do this. We want to actually have a house. I'm sick of living in a freaking trailer house. I'm going to go out there with my little shovel, and I'm going to dig foundations. They're already poured. I'm going to unbury them from the earth. We're going to make them show up, make them look important. We're going to make this happen, you know. But as a kid, that never really completely turned to fruition either. I mean, if freaking I was a kid, you know, I might have gotten half of it every now and then, but never really got the whole house undug. And, you know, I lived my entire life, you know, until I left home in a trailer house. And once I, you know, got out, had my own, stood on my own, I got a job and, you know, I rented houses, and then now I purchased my own home. You know, I got a 3,000 square foot, you know, 2-story nice home. And it's just something I never had as a kid, but that's just one example. You know, your ideas, when you set a goal and you decide, hey, I'm going to do something because you decided to do it, right? You set a goal. That goal then is in your thoughts, and your mind has the power, the ability to actually help you come up with ideas that'll make that happen. You know, and one of my ideas, one of my goals was to actually make an income online. And I started getting ideas, you know, check this thing out, check that thing out, go over here, go do that. You have to not be afraid to take those actions. You have to not be afraid to go and do something about it. That's your first step. Like when you get an idea, when it pops into your head, like, ooh, maybe I should go do that. Ooh, look, this guy's doing it. Maybe I should go check out and see what he's got. When that happens, you actually should take action and go do it. Otherwise, you're just where you've always been. And who wants to be there, right? Who wants to be going to a job that they don't want to go to, driving what they don't want to drive, living where they don't want to live for their entire life, and just having the great idea, right? Oh, one of these days I'm going to do this. One of these days I'm going to do that. Well, stop saying one of these days and start saying day one. And again, that brings back to the same, you know, goal or the same theme that I brought up today, and that's patience. You have to have the patience. Yes, you can start day one, but you got to have the patience to keep going. You got to have the patience with yourself to learn. You got to have the patience with yourself while you're doing the putting in the time in behind the wheel. You got to have patience with yourself to actually learn what you're doing. And then you got to have the patience of actually putting in the work, and then the patience to see the fruit of your reward, or the fruit of your labors. It all works the same way. Action and cause and result. You put in the time and the effort and consistency to do something, you're going to get a result. You're going to actually start seeing people get interested. You're going to attract somebody based on your personality, how you are, what you do, what you share with the world. It's going to get somebody's attention. It's going to attract somebody. But do you just stop there? You know, I have people that message out like, well, you know, I've been doing this for like 2 days. I made one video. How come I haven't made any money yet? Well, dude, you gotta keep going. Do you think that any company, even established companies that make billions of dollars a year, they don't stop sharing their products? They post ads all the time. If you go watch TV for 10 minutes, you're gonna see some ads from some companies. They don't just sit on their heels and stop the second that they make some money. They didn't sit there. Do you think that Jeff Bezos, who did, you know, Amazon from his garage, do you think he stopped after he got a couple of sales and just let it be a garage business? No. He kept going. He kept pushing. He kept saying, what's the next thing? What's the very next thing that I can do? And when his mind came up with an idea, he would go take action. You know what? Not all of them worked. I guarantee not all of them worked. Not everything that he set out to do actually, you know, came to fruition and became a lucrative thing for the business. But the business as a whole, overall, is thriving as a worldwide business. You see their trucks around every single day now, especially now that people more buy things from home after the pandemic and everything that transpired there. But they didn't stop. They didn't stop doing it just because it got hard, just because they didn't know what to do, just because they didn't have the time, just because they didn't have the money. He didn't stop. He had the patience to keep going. He had the patience to keep trying. You know, and that's another subject that I wanted to bring up. You know, you got to have, like I said last time I got on here, you got to have thick skin. And if somebody gives you an insult or says something negative about what you're doing, you don't have to accept that. It doesn't mean that's your truth. it's just a reflection on where they're at with their life. It doesn't mean that that is true for you, and you do not have to accept that. You can just be like, hey, you know, you wanna change your own life and circumstance. You got to go out and do something about it. You can't just sit around and dog on everybody else and what they're trying to do. Anyways, that's the video I wanted to make today. Hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, if you're interested in duplicating my success, then you got to go to the link in the description of this video and start today. Make today be your day one and just learn step by step, because a couple of things are going to happen when you do that. You're going to go to that link, you're going to click on it, you're going to start your day one, and I'm going to send you the instructions. I'm going to send you what you need to do to be your very next step, and you just have to follow through. So again, hope you have a beautiful day. See you on the next video. Roy out.